Hey guys, it's DDD. Welcome to my channel. Good afternoon. Today I am here to give a quick review of Raw last night for the women's division. Last night we got what appears to be our announced WrestleMania match for the Raw women, a triple threat. Charlotte versus Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title. Now, as far as just my quick opinion or reaction to that match, possibly, and I'm going to get into why I believe it's still a possibility for now. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I have mixed feelings on it. The reason why I have mixed feelings on it is because, for one, I've mentioned this before, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm just mentioning it again for people who didn't hear my opinion previously or just reiterating. I feel like this year was the perfect opportunity to capitalize on another singles match for the women for WrestleMania, at least for one of the brands. You know what I mean? Because we have two different brands. We have Raw and we have SmackDown. So I figured, a multi-woman match that would have been more appropriate for the SmackDown women. Being that SmackDown Live is the land of opportunity and all, and Raw, I felt like they could have had a one-on-one match for that Raw Women's title. A feud that's more personal, that means more. I just feel like a one-on-one match is way more credible than a multi-person match, and then it just feels too like deja vu. Like we had a triple threat match last year for the Raw Women's title, and I just feel like WWE has kind of made it too much of a habit to just throw the women in multi-women, multi-person matches all the time. So I'm not like mad at it. I don't hate it, but I just feel like I would have preferred a singles match between Bayley and Sasha Banks. And I thought that's what we were getting at first. I still feel like it's a possibility, and I'm going to address that. But we got the triple threat for now. I also didn't really like the idea because we already seen the match too at Clash of Champions. So now I just feel like it's a Clash of Champions rematch. And I don't know, it's just something about WrestleMania where I feel like, we should be seeing matches that we haven't seen before. It's all about the excitement, the anticipation of wanting to see this, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that every match has to be a match that we haven't seen before, but I mean, in this case, I just feel like we should have gotten a singles match instead. But I still feel like that's possible. You never know what can happen over these next few weeks. But getting into what actually happened on Raw, first we seen Bayley come out to the ring introduced by the Raw General Manager Mick Foley, our Raw Women's Champion, who retained last night against Charlotte and ended the pay-per-view streak. Woo! So she comes out, and it was a little weird only because I guess whatever, I get it because she said that she had time to think about everything and maybe this was the conclusion she came to. But I felt like after she retained last night and then even seeing the interview with her and Sasha on the Raw Talk, Bayley seemed pretty confident and comfortable in how she won the title, how she defended the title. Like she was comfortable and secure in herself, knowing that she really earned it despite whatever controversy may have been floating around. But she didn't come off as confident last night when she was first speaking. Like the way she was speaking was as if she was having second thoughts about how she retained last night and just how she won the title and her going to WrestleMania. Like it seemed as if she felt a little guilty, maybe like what Charlotte and Stephanie and whatever any other people might have been saying has been finally getting to her. But she did reiterate, like, you know what I mean, that hey, she has to keep moving forward, she has to move on. She knows how hard she works and she's going to WrestleMania. It is what it is. And Mick Foley reassured her of that. So the whole point of this segment was to basically see who her WrestleMania opponent was supposed to be. And as soon as we get the question pop from Mick Foley, whose music do we hear? Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Sasha Banks. She comes out, and you guys know I was here for it all immediately. Because you guys know I'm just anticipating so much for Sasha's heel turn whenever it happens. I'm tired of saying it's gonna happen here. It's gonna happen there. I feel like I've said it like five different times. I was expecting Sasha to turn heel and she didn't do it. So I don't want to make every video. Is Sasha turning heel? Is Sasha turning heel? Sasha. At this point, I'm just waiting for it to happen, but I am definitely still confident it's going to happen at some point. Especially after tonight, I still feel like signs are pointing towards that, and I'm going to get into that too. But back to my point at hand. Sasha comes out, and she basically does what one of my subscribers said, and asked Bailey for a title match for WrestleMania, and talked about how, they are friends and they have the history and they've always talked about how they wanted to compete at WrestleMania against one another. And I like the fact that they're bringing this into the story too, because they do talk about this a lot outside of the ring. They mention it in several different interviews of theirs, and just their interaction online on Twitter and everything. I'm glad that they're really bringing that into the story, because even though it does look weird, like they're friends, so why would they want to face each other? That's just the respect they have for one another as competitors, and they recognize that, and they just will want to test their abilities against one another. That doesn't necessarily make any one of them having ulterior motives. That just comes down to the character of the individuals. But she says that Bailey looks like she's not against it. She's smiling. Both of them are like smiling ear to ear about just even mentioning it. And the crowd, they were cheering. They were here for it. They were going, yes, yes, yes. Mick Foley, he proposed. He asked the audience first, like, okay, well, I'm not going to just listen to you two. Let's see what the audience thinks. Of course, they were obviously here for it. I mean, if not, maybe you need to watch NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. But yeah. So it looked, just when it looked like the match was going to be official and announced, here comes Charlotte with Dana Brooke, and she basically like let the cat out of the bag and revealed that she felt like Sasha was using Bailey and manipulating her. And she brought up the thing that I talked about from the very beginning, from my very first video. I always say this. I said from the beginning that I knew Sasha losing at Roadblock and the whole term about Sasha not being able to get a rematch, I knew that was going to come into play in the future, and I knew that would have something to do with her attitude and however she would turn heel. It's happening differently than I exactly predicted, but to be honest, I'm actually glad that things are going towards this direction now, because I feel like this wasn't the route that everyone predicted. No one really seen the storyline playing out like this from the very beginning. They just always saw it as Sasha would turn against Bailey because whatever, she's bitter, she couldn't beat Charlotte, and it was just about that. But it's deeper than that. They're actually making it a mind thing where it's not just about Sasha being jealous. It's like she really isn't confident, I guess, that she can keep Charlotte down, and she feels more confident that she can do so with Bailey. So, like I said, Charlotte comes out. She basically comes out to try and expose Sasha, and then Stephanie McMahon makes her way to the ring to do the same. The crowd tried trolling her with the CM Punk chants. She shut those down real quick. Thank God. They were still trying, but whatever. She did a good job of ignoring those assholes. Anyways, she comes out and says that she feels because Charlotte was robbed last night because of Sasha's interference again in the Raw Women's Championship match. She felt as though Charlotte deserved another fair opportunity at the title and was set to book Charlotte versus Bailey for WrestleMania instead. Which I'm so glad that's not official, because that would have been the last thing I honestly wanted to see. Well, I don't want to say the last, but one of the last things I wanted to see for the Raw women this year at WrestleMania. So Mick Foley, he actually takes a stand. He stands up to Stephanie like, "Hey, you can't leave the boss out. You can't leave Sasha out after the year she's had," which I definitely agree with. That would be awkward as hell. And he was saying the same about Charlotte. But see, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite here, but I really feel like Charlotte could have sat this WrestleMania out, or they could have found another storyline for her to maybe just have another match or something. But I feel like I don't want to, again, sound like a broken record, but I really do feel like we need another women's singles match. Like, Charlotte could have sat this year out. She was in last year's WrestleMania, and she even won last year's. Like, it wouldn't have killed her to sit this one out. But whatever. So Stephanie, out of spite, she schedules a match between Sasha and Bailey. We get Sasha versus Bailey for the first time on Raw, which I'm not going to lie, I was a little about it. Like, I felt like they should have really waited for that until WrestleMania. But whatever, we got it tonight. I guess they still needed to fill each other out. It's been some time since they've worked each other, whatever. I really liked the match. I liked it for psychology purposes. I really lived for Sasha. Like, I lived for her expressions. I just lived for how the match built up. I feel like she's definitely showing those heel traits. Like, she got, she got frustrated quickly in the match. You know what I mean? She was the one being the aggressor. She was the one willing to throw the first punch and all that. You know what I mean? So, and then I just love the little things she was saying. Like, you want to go to WrestleMania? Like, let's go. I'm the one going to WrestleMania. This is my opportunity. You know, like, she's that boss in her is coming out. She's showing that selfishness, that arrogance, that entitlement. So, I was here for the match. I liked the fact that Sasha got the win. I loved her expressions after the match. Because it just looked like she was just so relieved. Like, I'm going to WrestleMania. She kept staring at the sign. I lived for all that. And I feel like this also comes to play well in the story too, because the whole point again was to make it look like, I guess in Sasha's mind, that she can beat Bayley, but whatever. Like, not that she can't beat Charlotte. She obviously can beat Charlotte. She's done it several times, but for whatever reason, she obviously can't consistently beat her. So with Bayley, I guess she feels like that's easier, and now I'm not saying that we actually got to see that, but she did beat Bayley. So this does, I guess, give Sasha more confidence in her way of thinking. And I'm just excited to see how everything ends up playing out. So I definitely liked what we got for Raw last night. It was intriguing to say the least. And I'm actually intrigued by the Raw women again, only because I feel like at this point Sasha's heel turn is just a snap away. It's just about when they finally pull the trigger. I'm happy that Sasha's back in the title picture. I'm just really here for Sasha to see what she does. I'm like, my eyes are glued to see what's happening next with all of that. And yeah, I'm here. So, like I said, triple threat match for WrestleMania booked for now, planned for now. I would like maybe if there was a way that Charlotte could possibly lose her opportunity, so we could get the singles match instead. I would love for that. We still have a few more weeks until WrestleMania, so don't outrule the possibility for things to change. I feel like that's kind of why this match might have been announced a bit early, but if it stays a triple threat, whatever, fine. It's okay because I feel like either way they'll tear the house down, and we're gonna get an exciting result. So that was my Raw review. I will be back for SmackDown later tonight to maybe react or review. It depends on how I'm feeling, whatevs. But if I do react, I'll only react to the women whenever I catch them, whenever they pop up. And yeah, so you guys know the drill. This has been DDD. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And until then, peace and chicken grease, and bye.